Listen, this is major for business owners if you understand what just took place. Now, if you're familiar with the BOI filing, then a lot of entrepreneurs were scared of the ramifications of the things that can come from not filing the BOI. In fact, people were hosting seminars and trying to get people in position to not get fined all of these crazy amounts. But guess what? Things have changed. So shout out to the CNBC and Kate Dorr for this article. Treasury Department suspends enforcement of ownership information reporting for millions of businesses. And I didn't like the idea of it when I first heard it anyway, because it sounded too invasive. So the fact that this went into action based on a couple of smooth moves that took place by the people, this is critical and important and a great thing that has happened. So let's talk about the key points. The U.S. Department of Treasury on Sunday said it won't enforce the penalties or fines associated with the beneficial ownership information, or BOI, reporting requirements. Previously, the Treasury set a March 21st deadline for businesses to comply or risk fines up to $10,000. That's why people were tripping. Nobody want to be fined $10,000 just because they had a business or LLC. The Treasury will also propose regulation to apply the BOI rule only to foreign companies. So let's dive in deeper. The U.S. Department of Treasury on Sunday announced it won't enforce the penalties or fines associated with the beneficial ownership information, or BOI, reporting requirements for millions of domestic businesses. Enacted via Corporate Transparency Act in 2021 to fight illicit finance and shell company formation like LLCs, BOI reporting requires small businesses to identify who directly or indirectly owns or controls the company to the Treasury's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, known as FinCEN. So you had to report this information to the Treasury FinCEN, basically, in order to determine who directly or indirectly owns or controls this. Now, shout out to all of the ones who were trying to make people aware of this, but some people end up, spending money that they didn't have to spend in order to try to prevent the fine. You win some, you lose some. The act became effective near the end of the first Trump administration, despite a veto by the president after previous court delays. The Treasury in the late February set a March 21st deadline to comply or risk civil penalties up to $591 a day, adjusted for inflation, or criminal fines up to $10,000 and up to 2 years in prison, which is crazy for this altogether when you think about it. The reporting requirements could apply to roughly 32.6 million businesses, according to the federal estimates. See, this would have crippled a lot of business owners and deterred a lot of potential business owners who really helped the economy on a whole nother level. So the rule was enacted to make it harder for bad actors to hide or benefit from their ill-gotten gains through shell companies or other opaque ownership structures, according to FinCEN. And I get that angle, but that's pretty invasive when you think of it. And in addition to not enforcing BOI penalties and fines, the Treasury said it would issue a proposed regulation to apply the rule to foreign report companies only. President Donald Trump praised the news in a Truth Social post on Sunday night, describing the reporting rule as outrageous and invasive. I said that as well before I realized that's exactly what he said as well. And an absolute disaster for small businesses. I said that as well. Other experts say that Treasury's decision could have ramifications for national security. This decision threatens to make the U.S. a magnet for foreign criminals, from drug cartels to fraudsters to terrorist organizations. That's what they say. But it's invasive. And a lot of times they want information in a way that does not benefit the person who's running the business. Yes, there are always going to be people who do things that could be detrimental. We get it. But there has to be a better way versus putting so many people who are rightfully trying to make a profit in their business in this type of position. So that's what we don't want. That's what we have to be aware of in order to position ourselves to best operate in terms of business owners. So what are your thoughts about the BOI? Had you paid any money to try to prevent being penalized from the BOI reporting? Had you invested in some type of courses? Had you been on the chopping block? Were you scared, or were you just kind of laid back and it just ended up working out in your favor in a way that you didn't have to file the BOI reporting, and it just worked out that they canceled all things associated with it? How did you feel about this? Did you just find out about the announcement? Me personally, I was looking at it from an angle of, okay, for one, it's invasive For two, I see people making money off of it, because where there's fear, there's opportunity, and some people seize the opportunity to make money on it. And now they charge people different, fees to attend these seminars and webinars in order to fatten their own pockets. And now this thing has gone away altogether. But I do still salute them raising awareness, because a lot of people didn't know. Some people never found out. So some people probably would have been hit with a penalty just due to not knowing, because it wasn't like they just automatically knew or got some type of notification. Some people started LLCs and didn't even keep running that business. There's a lot of different moving pieces that could have gone into this. But the fact of the matter is, when it boils down to you having a business, the business itself is something that helps the economy, because you're trying to do for self. You're trying to create some type of system, some type of asset for your family. So that's to be commended within itself, because being a business owner, some type of entrepreneur, whether sole proprietorship or you own some type of corporation, is not easy, for one. And then trying to make sure that you're making income, trying to make sure that you get tax deduction, having your records, that's a business within itself. And then you want to outsource that, because you need other people who are more professional in that area or licensed in that area. So all of these things going into being a business owner is work on top of work within itself, and it's not for everybody. You have to be built for this. You have to have thick skin for this. You have to be able to go through the ups and downs and the uncertainty, and not a lot of people are willing to do that. But if you tag on the invasiveness that could have came from this BOI, beneficial ownership information, and the fines that could have come along with it, that's enough to make a person like, you know what, forget this. I ain't trying to be a business owner or be self-employed. And sometimes they just find themselves wanting to only work a job. I'm not against either. You have to know your personality type. You have to do what's best for you and your family. But any red tape that's just slowing down the process and all of these different restrictions always slow down progression. And you can see it in different areas. Certain areas that have less red tape, they're able to move, they're able to be innovative, they're able to do certain things that position them to be light years ahead of other people, versus all of these restrictions that's disguised as, oh, I'm trying to look out for the people. You position them to be stagnant, because now they're too worried about messing up. And it's a lot of industries that are like that. I'm not here to list those industries, but you as a business owner, you do want to make sure that you're taking care of certain things, keeping your records intact, making sure that you are doing things the right way, doing things lawfully, not putting yourself in a position to get fined, all of those things. But it's so good to know that they removed this for those who could have fell victim to the fines by not making the deadline. So shout out to everybody involved in making this happen. I heard it was a text guy who made a post, got tagged, shared, by several, that raised awareness to this, and it led to the possibility of the Department of Treasury not enforcing these penalties or fines altogether. Win, 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 win. Let's get it. What are your thoughts below? Are you excited? Are you did you not know about it? And are you an entrepreneur? Are you self-employed? That's all I got. Mr. Smith signing out. Salute. If you like this video amongst others, you know what to do. So do what you know.